When we look back at the 2014 NASCAR season, we look at some of the greatest moments in recent memory as well. We look at drivers that we loved, like Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt Jr., popping off and having an absolutely amazing season in what would end up being the twilight of their careers. We look at a lot of the different aspects of horsepower in the cars, but I think something that goes overlooked is a very interesting crop of rookies. And seeing how we are at the 10-year anniversary of this season, a final season with ESPN and TNT on board until TNT comes back next year, let's look back at them from lowest in rookie points all the way up and see where they all ended up 10 years later. Starting out, we'll go with Parker Kligerman, who was listed on J-Ski as the final rookie finisher of the 2014 season. By technicality, he was added in due to starts, and he drove in 8 races for Swan Racing. Though, what we probably remember him most for is the flip that he had in Speed Weeks of 2014 before any racing actually happened. The guy had 5 finishes lower than 40th, and he just was not in a great situation overall. But since then, he has actually made a bit of a career for himself in an interesting way. He's made 30 different starts at different points of his career in different years between 2013 and 2022 in Cup. Best finish he had was 15th at Daytona and Talladega in 2019. He's been a part-timer in the Truck Series over the last few years with 3 wins, and now he is a full-time Xfinity Series driver in the number 48 Big Machine Racing Chevy. He just made his 100th start as of May 11th, and for the last year and a half now, he has been a credible and playoff caliber Xfinity Series driver, making a pretty good career for himself in a growing team. On top of that, he's also been on our TV screens for NASCAR coverage with NBC. Parker Kligerman may not have reached the heights that many of his other peers in the rookie class did that year, but he definitely has made a name for himself in the NASCAR world. Another very recognizable driver from this class is RyanTRX. In 2014, Truex made 23 starts for BK Racing. Of course, it's BK. I don't know what many are really expecting other than some subpar finishes. And his most remembered moment from his rookie campaign probably was him getting concussed at Michigan in a practice crash and not racing in the ensuing race. Back then, with the full 900 horsepower engines that they had, a crash like that at full speed at the speeds they were going was something that would hurt a driver, as we would see in the coming years at Michigan. But since then, while making no Cup starts, he has run a couple full seasons in trucks in 2017 and 2021 and an Xfinity Series season in 2018 to middling results. All of the other seasons he's made starts in have been part-time, and it's been severely part-time. Though, in recent years, much like his brother, he's had a late blooming career with 2 wins, both coming at his hometown race of Dover in 2023 and 2024 alike with Joe Gibbs Racing. The lowest finishing rookie in the 2014 class to make every single start in the Cup Series was none other than a guy named Alex Bowman. Bowman also ran for BK Racing, but while he was in underfunded equipment and honestly underpowered equipment, he did compete for top 30s on a regular basis back when we had 43 car fields. He was actually overperforming his equipment quite a bit, and since then it caught a lot of attention. In 2015, he would make 35 starts, only missing the 500, but we all remember that season for his New Hampshire fire and, well, the bumbling gaffing by the safety crew. But the true turning point of his career and where his talent really was seen was in 2016. He was a part-timer for JR Motorsports, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., along with Rick Hendrick, would have him in relief for a concussed Dale Jr. in 10 starts at the end of the 2016 campaign, highlighted by a 6th-place finish at Phoenix, where he led 194 of the eventual 324 laps in that race. He also ran top 10 in many other different races at various tracks as well, and it was pretty clear that he had the talent to be a Cup Series driver. While sitting out for the most part of 2017, though winning one race at Ganassi in the Xfinity Series in his 2 starts, he was a Hendrick Motorsports development driver and also a Hendrick driver for their simulator, and took over the 88 car in 2018. From 2018 to 2022, he would make the playoffs, while switching from 88 to 48 after his first win in 2019 in Chicagoland. His breakout season in 2021 would have 4 victories, all in crazy, clutch, and intense fashions. While he missed races in 2022 and 2023, he does seem at this moment of recording to be back at the start of 2024 as the most consistent driver in NASCAR. Ahead of him would be Michael Annett. In 2014, Annett would jump up to the Cup Series after 5 years of racing in the Xfinity Series, now to the Tommy Baldwin Racing number 7 car, which he ran about the same as Alex Bowman in that car, even though it was shown it could run a bit better than BK equipment. In a large part, he got a lot of his Cup rides and experience due to his connections and being able to have Flying J and Pilot sponsor the car. He ran for H. Scott in 2015 with similar results, and 2016 saw just more of the same. Each season was sub-30th place years. He retired from Cup in 2016 at 35, but would race for JR Motorsports from 2017 through 2021, bringing those sponsored dollars, and eventually would get a win in 2019 at Daytona. He did miss much of the 2021 season due to a stress fracture to his femur, which would ultimately end his career as he retired at the end of that season. What he's probably most remembered for at this point is being a pay driver with Pilot Flying J that just managed to stick around for over a decade. Another rookie in this campaign as well was Cole Whitt. Whitt ran in a second Swan racing car, and he generally stayed out of trouble, averaging above a top 30 finish in this equipment. But since this point, he had bounced around at different lower-end teams and start-and park teams over a couple of years. And because of this and never being able to line up sponsorship, he kind of just fizzled away. But ultimately, he was a very talented driver who really just couldn't stick around and get everything together in the jump to Cup, which is unfortunate because he really did have a lot of talent behind the wheel. Coming in third of the 2014 rookie class was Justin Allgaier. Allgaier jumped up to the Cup Series after spending 5 years in the Xfinity Series and only scoring 3 wins. He'd race in the number 51 Brandt car for H. Scott and would remain full-time in 2015, even getting a top 10 at Bristol with an 8th place finish. But after a bit of a failed stint in Cup, he went back down to the Xfinity Series, joining forces with Dale Earnhardt Jr. to drive the number 7 for JRM. He has been in this ride ever since and has been one of the most elite NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers in this series history. At 24 wins in this time, he is tied for 10th all-time with his car owner in Xfinity Series wins, but with no title yet, and after spending 6 of the last 8 years in the Final Four, he only has one last crowning achievement to be one of the Mount Rushmore drivers in this series. The runner-up of the 2014 rookie class was Austin Dillon. Dillon came up to the Cup Series after winning the 2011 Truck Series title and the 2013 Xfinity Series title, and he would bring the number 3 back to the Cup Series for the first time since the death of Dale Earnhardt, even winning the pole for the Daytona 500 that year. And I can tell you from being around that time, it was a very controversial move, way more than it is even today, a decade later. He had a relatively adequate rookie year. He finished 20th in points and was generally around where he should have been in most races. It looked like he could have some real potential. And since then, he has in general been a higher-end mid-pack driver. He has won the Coca-Cola 600 and the Daytona 500, which is kind of insane to look at, seeing how he only has 4 career wins over the span of his career. And on top of that, he's done something that many drivers, many great drivers, say like a Tony Stewart, never were able to do. He has also qualified for the NASCAR playoffs in 6 of the last 9 seasons since 2014 before 2024. Though the last 2 seasons, including 24, he has underperformed vastly and looks even worse than RCR equipment really should be letting out. So the verdict for him is that I think he's generally been overlooked in his career. He's good in lower series, but has become more and more of an underperformer as the years have went on. And that leads us to the Rookie of the Year in 2014, Kyle Larson. Before jumping to Cup, he was hyped up and seen as being the next Jeff Gordon. I can tell you that many people rolled their eyes at it. Many drivers before him and after him have been labeled the next Jeff Gordon and completely failed. But Larson early on, before even turning 21, showed that this could be a driver that would match the hype. He went head-to-head with a peak-leaching Kyle Busch in the Xfinity Series and gave him a huge run for his money, again, at the age of 20. And at that point, a lot of eyes were opened. In his rookie season, he did go winless, but he was very consistent. 8 top 5s, 17 top 10s, and a 14th place average. And had he not had a couple of just bad incidents, say like the Daytona 500 in his first start that season, he easily is going to be in the chase that season. Many show highlight clips, but I think the true highlight of his rookie year was his battle with Jeff Gordon, Brad Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick at Chicagoland, where he raced like he had been there as long as all of them. Since then, he did win 6 races at Ganassi and was their franchise driver, consistently finishing in the top 10 in points and on track for 4 straight seasons. Even with a major fall in 2020 off the track, he managed to only improve in 2021 as he joined Hendrick Motorsports in the 5-car, only winning a title and 10 races that season. And at Hendrick, he has consistently been the man to beat in not just Hendrick, but NASCAR overall, as he's been the best driver in NASCAR and maybe the best driver in America. Kyle Larson is the one driver from this class that in the NASCAR world became a true superstar. But with that, I want to pass it all on to you. Which rookie class do you think made the biggest impact in NASCAR? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support, and until next time, have a good one.